Train Sim World have never sent me a key for any of their DLCs on release day before. This is the first time that Dovetail Games have sent me a key to review on release day. So for that, I am very, very grateful. And I have to say, I haven't necessarily been against any of the previous DLCs. I've just been very aware of their shortcomings, let's say. Now, I've heard from many of you that the LIRR Nord DLC is the best one so far. Unbelievably, Dovetail Games have actually sent me that key as well, so I'll be reviewing that soon, but I haven't even looked at that yet. Today we're looking at Long Island Railroad, which is the newest of the DLCs, and I've got to say, having spent about an hour on it last night, it's not bad. It's actually pretty darn good. There are some issues and some bugs with it, and I'll try and highlight some of those today, but really we're just going to do a bit of gameplay, and hopefully the quality of the video is okay. It's very difficult to tell. So we're going to do some of the tutorials today. Oh, for some reason the introduction is still there. I was expecting to see the second one, having completed both, but let's just go from the introduction, I suppose. Now, I don't pretend to be particularly well versed in the world of trains. This is an M7. I've never been on an M7. I know nothing about this train. If the audio sounds bad, I wouldn't necessarily know. Incidentally, the M7 here has a very distinctive audio sound when accelerating and braking and just basic maneuvers. The track itself. Oh, also new voiceover lady.
Welcome to this M7 electric multiple unit in Long Island Railroad livery. During this brief introduction, we will go through the startup, stopping, and passenger door operations.
Which, I've got to say, is actually pretty good.
Spent in the engineer's seat, so climb aboard to get started.
Now, I'm a big fan of Mr. P. I go and watch his streams quite often. I haven't been for a while, but I do, whenever I get a chance, I do go and watch his streams. He's a really nice guy, really smart guy, and his voiceovers, I think, are absolutely superb. But I really like this lady here. I don't know who she is, but the voiceover tutorial's fantastic. So it's nice to have a change. A change is as good as a rest. And first things first, obviously we've got this sort of gunmetal grey train going on. It looks pretty damn good. I mean, if there's one thing you can definitely say about Dovetail Games, it's the fact that their trains and locomotives are really detailed. I mean, really well detailed. Really, really spot on. And like I say, I've never been on one of these trains, but look at this, you've even got the straps. I've never been on one of these trains, but you know, I've seen them on movies and stuff, like Coming to America and things like that. But this looks incredibly authentic, I've got to say. And they always do. I don't think anybody ever really complains about the locomotives themselves. They always hit the mark. Oh Christ, I didn't mean to do that. How do I get up here now? They always hit the mark with these. And what I like about them now is that they're not always shiny, brand new. I mean, if you look at the front of this, look at the, I don't know what that is, the gunge, the splatter, bugs, and all sorts. I like that. It gives it a bit of character, a bit of realism. So anyway, right, let's go inside. Let's start this mission. Some good audio sounds. I still don't feel that it's perfectly perfect. For example, that beeping that you heard there, no matter where you stand in the carriage, I don't think I can open that door, no matter where you stand in the carriage, that audio will be present throughout. So the audio engine is always something I complain about, and I think again here it's just not really top notch.
The master key is used to activate the control desk.
Now this train, the M7, is seriously easy to get used to.
The reverser determines the direction of travel. This unit has a combined throttle brake handle, which needs to be set before beginning the startup procedure.
Okay, so you have to go max brake, charge...
Before powering up the unit, the brakes need to be charged to a safe level.
And that's here, by the way.
Lights are important to let others around know that this unit is... To unlock the doors, a key must be inserted into the corresponding door control.
Now, this is quite new, I think, for Train Sim World. This key here, this is like, I don't know what you call it, the controller's key, something like that. Control panel key switch. Now, apparently you can't control any of this without putting the key in, but actually, I tested it yesterday and you can. So this whole system is not actually working properly. Whether or not once you put the key in that unlocks it fully forever, I don't know. That doesn't seem to make sense if that is the case. There's also this little thing here which I didn't spot straight away. That's quite cool. I mean, there's lots of stuff here that I actually really quite admire. In terms of internal specifications, I mean, I've got nothing to compare this to really, but I'd say, I mean, it looks pretty damn authentic. Close the left side doors to finish passenger boarding. Will do. So that's just this button here. And you'll notice, if I zoom in a bit, you've got an arrow pointing down and an arrow pointing up. So this will open all the doors behind this location, whereas that would open up all the doors at the front from this location. So if, for example, you were on a short station and you didn't want to open all the doors, theoretically you could go down a couple of cabs, because each of these carriages has one of these control panels. I'm not sure if I can show you. Well, that was interesting. I opened the door in front of the door I'm trying to open. I have had a few problems opening these doors. You can see that one opens easily, but the one I'm actually trying to open, yes, I have had a few issues in the hour that I've played. I don't think I can open that door. I can just open the other door, which is a bit daft. I'll show you that later. In the next tutorial, I know I can definitely mess about with some stuff. I'll show you that in a minute. But, right, let's close the doors. Have I closed it? Yeah. Lock it off. Take the key out. Now, the door control key, again, it's a bit clunky. Once you're in the right position, taking the key out is easy, but it can be tricky. And sometimes when you're trying to turn the key, you take the key out by accident. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass, really.
Increase the master controller to start moving. Be careful not to apply too much power too quickly. Otherwise, you might damage the couplings or upset the passengers.
So this dash panel is actually really good. You've got your speed limiter here. I think that's called the ATC. And there's another security thing. What have we got? We've got ATC. So at the moment the ATC is being bypassed. There's a fuse box somewhere. I think it's up here. And you'll see that I don't think I can change it in the tutorial, but at the moment the fuses for the ATC have been flipped, so they're off, which is why that's not currently working. But this is a cool thing. I do like this. And there's another safety thing called a alerter, maybe? I can't remember what it's called. There's two anyway, and they're both pretty easy to deal with. But we'll get into that a bit later on. Hey, Tough! One thing I will say for this train, once you get it to speed and you put it in coast, which I think is that coast? No, I put it on brake, blast. Yeah, once you get it to speed and you put it in coast, it just maintains its speed brilliantly. Okay, so it wants me to speed up to 25 now. The key is what guards use to open doors. Yeah, I've seen them do that actually. I don't know if they do that on the newer ones, do they?
We will be stopping at Country Life Press a little further up the line and performing another passenger loading procedure.
So I think we're just cruising along at 25 until we get there today. Interesting, I've got no target point heads up display. That's not by design. I don't use the thing in the bottom right hand corner. I think it's completely unnecessary in Train Sim World. It's not that advanced. You can see there that the ATC has told me to slow down to 15, which I have dutifully done. Now, one thing that all rookies, all novices, including myself, or especially myself, have problems with is stopping on a dime. And one of the things that always irritates me about Train Sim World was that marker there. If you stop 1 yard in front of it, it'll say, no, you haven't reached the marker. Or if you go 5 yards past it, it'll say, no, you've gone too far. And you just think, for God's sakes, you know what I mean? I've got a 100-ton train here. I'm trying to stop it on a dime. It's ridiculous. But in this scenario, it seems to be a little bit more lenient. So I'm not sure whether they have listened to my point of view and made a change, or I don't know. But certainly my braking is not any better than it used to be. But it seems to bitch and moan at me less. Now I'm going to try and stop on the marker, but I'll stop too soon or too late or something. Always do. It's part of the parcel. There you go, 3 yards, but it let me have it.
Like before, open the doors to allow passenger boarding to commence.
Right, let's see how easy this is with the key. Now, the game does have windows. I've got a bit of a concern about windows, or a bit of complaint, really. There is an audio difference when you open the window, so I'm going to shut up for a second and open and close the window a couple of times so you can hear it. Okay, so my complaint is that when you open the window, the outside audio should be more instantaneous. I'll do it again. Once the animation's finished. Oh really? You're not going to let me do anything else? Okay, fine. Fine.
Now, take what you've learned and put it into practice.
It's not going to let me open the window.
Complete the next stop at Garden City on your own.
Right, so I'm on my own now. So, I mean, this is super easy to drive, this train. It really is. I believe we have a speed limit of 25. Now, that audio that you can hear, that's due to the 8... I can't remember the term. I'm going too fast. Oh, it's 30. See the ATC there's highlighting the 30-mile-an-hour limit thing. So that's cool. Oh, I've got min brake on. Always go past coast. This is one of the other issues I have with this game, is it's so easy to miss what you're aiming for. So I want to put it into coast. I'll go to coast, and then it will just go on to the next notch, and then I'll be flipping braking when I don't actually mean to be braking. Am I in coast now? Yes. Now you see that I'm holding a good 15 mile an hour here, and it will pretty much maintain 15 miles per hour throughout, which is great. So this train really coasts exceptionally well. Toff says on Great Western Railways you get away with that, but on the other USA you have to stop on the mark. Yeah, well, you know, this is the newest DLC. Hopefully this is a new, slightly lenient marker position system that they've implemented, because, you know, especially when you're learning, especially when you're doing a tutorial, to say, right, take that 100-ton train or 200 tons or however many tons it is, I don't know, and stop it exactly on this penny. you know, it's going to take you so many attempts to do it, and you're going to fail the rest of the mission because you're going forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. What's the point? What have you learnt from doing that? Absolutely bugger all, in my humble opinion. So I'm glad that it's a bit more lenient. I mean, yeah, sure, I've got a target, I'm aiming for that, and you know, we'll whack the brake on a bit late, actually. I think we're going to be good. See, now by accident I almost stopped way too early then. 5 yards out, 6 yards out, and it still says, okay, that's good enough. What's wrong with that? I mean, I'm pretty damn close, let's be honest. Alright, let's do the doors thing again, and then maybe I can show you the window bit I was talking about. So, the audio doesn't start until the window is about halfway down, if you listen. Do you see that? I mean, I might even go so far as to say, until the window is fully open, you can't hear the audio from outside. And, you know, it's good that when you open the window, the audio does change, but I just think the second that window opens, you should be able to hear the audio outside, because that's what happens in real life. That delay really irritates me.
That's the basics covered. A manual can also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this train.
There we go. That's the very first tutorial. Now, I wasn't actually intending to do that today, so apologies for having to drag you through that. It's the next one that I think is pretty good and pretty interesting. Now, yesterday, last night, it was very late last night when I got the key. I went through and I tested stuff. I was just being naughty and doing naughty things and trying to break the train and just seeing what I could do. And it was really interesting. Now I'm going to try and remember all the stuff that I found yesterday, but I almost guarantee I'm going to miss some of it. So we'll have a go anyway. Next scenario is mission 2. So I think there's, in total there's, again, I mean, as always with all Train Sim World stuff, there's 24-hour service mode, but I think there's 42 miles and 26 stations in total. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. I really appreciate you coming along and taking the time to do that. I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who watched this video today. Special big thank you to our patrons and supporters on Twitch. But everybody who comes and watches, you all count, you are all part of this, and I thank you so much. If you hit that like button, I will like you twice as much. Even more than that, perhaps. It is for you guys that I make these videos, so it matters to me a huge amount if you enjoy watching them, and if you don't, you need to tell me. So thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, until next time, goodbye for now.